think it's time to get more sound coming out of these trumpets. Welcome to today's video. I am Maz. I hope you're having a splendid day. So today we will be installing a new mid-pipe setup on my ND2 Miata together with the Ulter exhaust system, which I have had some videos with before, but let's get to that in a bit. So the mid-pipe on the ND and ND2, or at least on the ND2, it has a muffler on the rear end of it, and we do also have a catalytic converter in the mid-pipe. But as you can see on this one, or this setup, we don't have either a catalytic converter, which would be sitting somewhere here, nor do we have a muffler, which would be sitting somewhere on the back end here somewhere. I don't know exactly where. We will see when we go under the car. So this is from a company called Aros Marmite or Marmit or Eros. I don't know how they pronounce it. I'll put the link to the company down below. So I got it, and it's an Italian company, and I got it after, I don't know, 2-3 weeks or so before summer, I think it was even. But now it's time to install it, and we have 8 days of driving, hopefully 8 days of driving before it's time for hibernation. So it's October and we are ending November quickly, and it's only 5 degrees plus Celsius outside. So hopefully we will have some days where we can feel out the system and see if it had made any difference with regards to performance, and hopefully then on the sound department we have some improvement then. Unfortunately, I don't have time to do any performance measurements. It would have been interesting to run the car as is with the Ulter only to see what the 0 to 100 kilometers is, or any other performance measure, and then install the muffler system to see if we did gain anything. Maybe we gain a little bit because we don't have the catalytic converter. I don't know, but it would be interesting to see. Maybe we can do that when it is time to take the car from hibernation, or take her out from hibernation, and then we can see. I can easily swap between the OEM mid-pipe and the aftermarket mid-pipe. And I'm saying it should be rather quickly, but usually when I say that or think that, I end up with sitting in here, I don't know, buying 50 tools, etc. before everything is installed. But hopefully it is not the case today. So what we will be doing essentially is to install the mid-pipe, and we will have some sound clips and also some initial impressions if I do feel if we did gain any performance or not. But before we start the video, if you do like today's video, give it a thumbs up. That will help me a lot. And if you do like the content of the channel, do remember to subscribe, leave your comments, questions down below. But with that said, let's get on with the video. So for this demonstration, I switched over to my phone. I hope the video and audio quality is good. So we are at the back end of the car. So we need to remove these two bolts, which connects the mid-pipe to the muffler. And working our way a little bit further back, we do have a hanger here, as you can see. So this, the mid-pipe needs to be removed from the hanger. And then going further to the back, we have this chassis brace, which is sitting with 4 bolts. We need to remove this as well in order to have access to remove the muffler. And moving our way forward, we do have the catalytic converter, which is sitting in the muffler, and as you can see, we have a bracket holding the wire to the O2 sensor. And as you saw on the aftermarket mid-pipe, we don't have a heat shield, so we don't have anywhere to place this bracket or wire holder. So we'll have to find a place to actually attach this so that the cable doesn't melt or get caught up in anything from the underside of the car. And also, what I think we might have to be doing is to remove this larger piece as well, in order for us to have more easy access to mainly the O2 sensor. And here at the front then, here comes a catalytic converter from the header then, and that also attaches to the mid-pipe. So these 2 bolts we need to also remove. So what I will start doing is to remove these brackets, and then I will actually remove the O2 sensor so we don't damage it. And then we will start from the front and go to the back and remove everything. So I'll start with removing the rear chassis brace first. So it's a 12mm socket for the 4 bolts holding it, and the same for the front brace if we need to remove that. Before removing everything completely, I realized this brace here is attached to this plate here, and which attaches to the larger chassis brace up front. And I think these are two 10mm bolts right here. I think I will remove these so we don't have a long, big piece which we need to work with. So we'll have smaller pieces, which makes it a little bit easier. It would take a little bit longer time to remove, but I think it will make the handling much more simple. Next is then to remove the larger chassis brace, so it's held up with 4 12mm bolts, one here, one here, one here, and one here. And then we do have 2 10mm bolts holding this plastic cover then, and it's attached to the chassis brace. So I'll remove these 2 10mm bolts, and then we can remove this whole assembly. But what I'm seeing is there is some sort of a push pin here, so maybe we need to remove that as well. I have reconsidered, so what I will be doing is to actually remove these smaller plastic covers as well, so I can easily maneuver things I can't access to get out from the sides because the quick jacks are in the way. So I'll actually remove these and so I can handle everything separately. Now it's time to remove the O2 sensor. Hopefully I can get this loose. And as you can see, I have professional tools for this. There, we got it loose. Hanger first. And we'll be careful not to damage the O2 sensor itself. So with the O2 sensor safely put away, it is now time to remove the 2 bolts in the front. And then we will see if we let the hanger still hang and then attack the bolts holding the muffler and the midpipe together, and then remove the hanger. We'll see how we do because it's a long piece and I'm by myself. Or we could use a jack to hold this front portion in place while we're removing the rear end, or vice versa. So this is attached to the catalytic converter with a 14mm nut, and there is a nut, I believe, I don't know if it's welded or not, we'll see if we need to hold something from the behind or if we can just remove it as is, or if we need to use some lubrication as well. Oh, got it broken loose. So it looks like this, and it threads into a welded nut here on the flange of the catalytic converter. Oh. This one was a little bit... Oh, god damn. So I did reconsider, so I've put one bolt back, I just hand tightened it. What I will be doing is to remove the 2 bolts that we have here, and the hanger will be left in place, the rubber hanger. And then once I've removed those 2, I will remove the rubber hanger. So I've reconsidered again, as the midpipe is long and I don't exactly know how much it weighs, and it can become a little bit cumbersome to maneuver here. So I will hold it in place with a jack and then remove the rubber hanger. And the rubber hanger we can use dish soap, force, or a tool. So we'll try with the force part first, then we'll see how it goes. And we will hold the midpipe in place with the jack, and then I'll remove the 1 bolt which is still hand tightened on the front, and hopefully we can remove everything safely. So there we have the hanger loose, and now let's jack this up a little bit. So the midpipe is held in place with the jack, and I will be removing the front bolt now. The bolt is loose. There we go. So the mid pipe is out, and as you can see, we don't have the catalytic converter on the Ulter system, which we have there. We have where we can attach the O2 sensor. The flanges look a little bit different, but hopefully there won't be any issues of reattaching everything. And as you can see, we don't have this heat shield which we have here on the Ulter system. And lengthwise, as you can see, hopefully everything will match. We will see once we start reassemble everything. And also you see we have the muffler here on the OEM system, but on the Ulter system we don't have the muffler. And I have transferred the rubber hanger, and as you can see, the Ulter system doesn't have these stops, we could say, which the OEM system does have or do have. So maybe I'll put something here just to prevent this from sliding off. I don't think that will be a real issue, but anyway. And also I have transferred over the gasket which comes OEM, and this just goes on top of flange here like so, and we push it in, and then this side will then attach to the Ulter system. I will put up the specifications of the Ulter system with regards to what type of stainless material it is, and just looking at it, I think the diameter of it looks to be a little bit more than or larger diameter compared to the OEM one. I don't know. And also I'm not sure about the thickness. We'll see as well. I'll put the text or some bullet points or whatever of the specification of the materials used and so on. And it is TIG welded stainless steel. And also from a weight perspective, in my opinion, it feels like there is a bit of a difference actually. So of course the Ulter system will be lighter than the OEM one because we don't have the muffler, nor do we have the catalytic converter. So what we will do now is start to reassembling the Ulter system, and then we are good to go. So I started with the front section, and I've just hand tightened these. As you can see, it's quite loose still, so we have some wiggle room. What I will do now is to slide over the rear end of the mid pipe over the front end, and then we will hang it on the hanger, and then we will attach it to the muffler. So this just goes in like, we need to wiggle it a little bit. It shouldn't take that much effort, but let's see. You could use some WD-40 or similar to lube this up so it goes in a little bit easier, like that. Now we have the hanger here. Now we need to adjust and fine tune so that the muffler is sitting in the position we want it to, but we will start with the front of the car and work our way forward when tightening everything down. So everything has been tightened down, and as I mentioned, I will write down what the torque specs are. And you want to check for leakages, etc. before you assemble everything and lower the car. And a good advice is also, after you have driven it for some time, to lift it up again and to see if there are any leakages, etc. And retighten everything again. Then I'll put the torque specs down below, so all the shields, chassis braces, and the covers, etc. are in place. And we have tightened the clamp here as well, and the hanger is in place, and the bolts connecting to the muffler are in place, and everything is equal and hanging good enough with regards to the muffler. So what is next to do is take it out for a impression and see what it sounds like. Oh, that looked a bit weird. And also I did relocate the wire bracket, as you can see, and attached it to a bracket which was already there to the gearbox. And it is now sitting nice and tight. So this was previously sitting on that heat shield on the OEM mid-pipe. I saw this on Flying Miata, so thanks for that. So this was a great location to attach this. And also I did unplug it from the harness of the car, the actual O2 sensor, because it makes it easier to twist this, because otherwise you're twisting the wires at the same time. and I'll put down text how much torque all of these are. I don't want to say it on top of my head, but to remove this plug, I first then disconnected the battery just to be sure. And as you can see, it has a little tab there. So you just pull that out and pull this connector out at the same time. And now we should be able just to pop it back in like so. And that's about it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're considering getting a mid-pipe that is catless and muffle deleted, be aware if you have a aftermarket exhaust. I have the Ulter Sport. It will definitely sound much more, at least when you're going higher up in the rev range. If you're just putting around, it will be slightly higher sound, but it's not that much. But as soon as you start getting above 3000 RPM, it sounds really, really fruity, I have to say. If you have any questions at all, just hit me up in the comment sections below and I will try to answer them the best I can. And also, if you did like today's video, give it a thumbs up and do remember to subscribe if you like the content of the channel. But for now, I'll be consuming some